Charlie Kirk. The voice, the movement, the tragedy. Charlie Kirk. A name that inspired millions and provoked just as many. In the polarized world of American politics, he became one of the most recognizable voices of a new generation of conservatives. His meteoric rise, powerful influence, and tragic death have left an undeniable mark on the political landscape. Born on October 14, 1993, in Arlington Heights, Illinois, Kirk grew up in a middle-class family that valued faith and hard work. From an early age, he showed a knack for public speaking and a fascination with American history. While still in high school, he volunteered for political campaigns and wrote opinion pieces, eager to shape the future of the country he loved. At just 18 years old, Kirk co-founded Turning Point USA, a student movement dedicated to promoting free markets, limited government, and individual liberty. What started as a small grassroots effort quickly exploded. Within a few years, Turning Point USA had chapters on hundreds of college campuses. To many young conservatives, Charlie Kirk wasn't just an activist, he was a lifeline. Proof that their views had a place in an academic environment they often felt was hostile to their beliefs. By his mid-20s, Kirk was a regular on national television and talk radio. His podcast, The Charlie Kirk Show, reached millions of listeners every month. His fiery speeches at events like CPAC and his college tours turned him into a hero for some and a lightning rod for criticism from others. His style was confrontational, unapologetic, and direct. He sparred with progressive students on campus, challenged professors, and used social media to amplify his message. But the same qualities that earned him loyal fans also drew fierce opposition. Critics accused him of spreading misinformation, deepening divisions, and embracing inflammatory rhetoric. His statements on elections, culture wars, and identity politics made headlines and ignited heated debates. Yet for his supporters, this was precisely why they admired him. He was willing to say what others would not. Beyond politics, Kirk's personal life was marked by faith and family. He married Erica Francevy in 2021, and together they welcomed 2 young children. He often spoke publicly about his Christian beliefs, crediting them as the foundation of his work and the anchor in his life. Even his fiercest critics acknowledged his devotion to his family and his willingness to mentor young activists. Then came September 10, 2025, Utah Valley University. Kirk was in the middle of his American comeback tour, addressing a packed auditorium of students and supporters. The event was meant to be another routine stopper night of speeches, debates, and Q&A. But just 20 minutes in, as Kirk engaged with the audience, gunfire shattered the room. A single bullet struck him in the neck. Chaos erupted. Paramedics rushed to save him, but within moments, one of the most prominent conservative voices in America was gone at only 31 years old. The news spread instantly. Vigils formed outside college campuses and city halls. Tributes poured in from political leaders on both sides of the aisle. Even some of his harshest opponents condemned the violence, warning that the country's toxic political climate had gone too far. Turning Point USA vowed to continue its work in his name, while his wife, Erica, publicly mourned her husband and called for Americans to remember his commitment to free expression and faith. In the days and weeks following his assassination, debates intensified. What role does heated rhetoric play in an already polarized society? How do we ensure the safety of public figures without stifling open discourse? And what responsibility do leaders and media personalities bear in shaping the tone of national conversation? Kirk's legacy is complicated. To his supporters, he was a fearless defender of constitutional principles and a mentor to a generation of young conservatives. They see his death as proof of the dangers faced by those willing to speak out. To his detractors, Kirk's style symbolized the hard edges of modern politics, a brand of confrontation that, they argue, sometimes fueled the very divisions he decried. But beyond the politics, Charlie Kirk's story is a human one. A young man who believed deeply in his country, who built a movement from nothing, who loved his family, and whose life was cut short before its full impact could be measured. Today, Turning Point USA continues to hold events in his honor, and his podcast archives are still shared widely among supporters. His influence on youth activism, particularly on the conservative side of the spectrum, remains evident in the students, commentators, and politicians he inspired. As America reflects on his life and death, questions remain. Can a nation this divided find common ground? Can disagreement coexist with respect? And can the lessons of Charlie Kirk's story, both his successes and his controversies, guide future generations toward a more constructive conversation? Charlie Kirk's voice has been silenced, but the conversations he sparked about freedom, faith, and the future of America continue to echo. Whether you agreed with him or not, His journey is a reminder of the power of ideas, the fragility of life, and the urgent need for a nation to confront its divisions without violence. This is the legacy of Charlie Kirk, a movement, a debate, and a warning for the times we live in.